Live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Los Angeles Tribune Live. And I'm so excited, Adora, because today you and I have the unique opportunity to spend some time as a community service for this community and offer a live workshop totally as a community service with no ticket sales or anything, just continuing to offer so much value to this community, which I'm so excited about. And we actually have one of the world's foremost thought leaders when it comes to neuroscience, when it comes to understanding human potential, someone that has for decades now impacted millions and millions and millions of people from around the world. And of course, we're talking about someone who this community is familiar with, and that's John Assaraf. So, Adora, I just want to kick it off to you and ask you, how excited are you for today's live workshop with John, and what impact are you excited to watch him make for us personally and for this community? Adora, please. You're muted, by the way. There you go.
Yes. So I am so excited. I got to meet John many years ago before the movie The Secret came out. I went with him and Greg Reed. I brought my friend Elaine Hendricks, the actress, to his house. And many people know John from The Secret. It's been seen by over 500 million people now. Where he realizes that he's living in the house that he had manifested and put on a dream board many years ago. And he didn't even realize it until he was unpacking boxes. So, I've watched that guy from that point, which he was already fully flourishing in business and life, but continue again and again to reinvent and elevate himself and humanity. So I always love learning from him. I'm excited to learn his business tips. He's done a lot to help entrepreneurs really scale their business, and I'm about it. I'm here for it.
I'm excited as well. And whether you're watching live or whether you're one of the folks that are going to watch this on replay, if you've registered for this program, you'll be watching it on replay. We want to welcome you. To those that are watching live, we encourage you to leave comments. Most people will be watching this on replay, in which case next time, do your best to join in live, because the interactive factor makes these programs so much more fascinating. And with that, I'm so excited to bring in multiple New York Times bestseller, multiple global keynote speaker, someone that I can go on and on and on with all the incredible things he's done, and that's John Assaraf. So welcome, John. I'm excited to have you here.
Hey there, Mo. Hi, Adora. So great to be with the two of you.
You know, one thing that this community is really big on, and folks that watch these particular programs, is most of these individuals are already making an impact in the world, right? We pride ourselves on being the leadership shows for the leaders. We pride ourselves on being those that fill the cups for the other people that fill the cups. Lots of entrepreneurs, lots of coaches, lots of people that are already uplifting and inspiring this world. And so we want to really elevate the time that we have with you, and we want to take things next level. The terminology that most audiences may not be familiar with, this audience is very familiar with. And so we really want to do an advanced workshop with you, John, today, and really kick it off with giving you the floor and setting that, setting that tone. To really just elevate us and take us where we need to go. Adora, I see you've unmuted.
Yes. A couple of things. One, if you're watching, I'm going to be looking down and sharing this on my own personal wall, but share this workshop. It's so awesome that we live in a time where we can sit fresh and live in the space with mentors. And it's one thing when you watch the replay, it's elevating, it's beautiful. But when you're in that energy live, it's like you're hanging out. You're hanging out with the kind of people that you want to receive in their gift and their wisdom. And John is definitely a guy we all want to hang out with. So share it on your page. The other thing is, John, I know a lot of people know you from The Secret. They know you from your New York Times bestselling books. But can you give us kind of a snapshot of your career for those who might be new to you?
Sure. Listen, hi, everyone. The career. So I got into real estate when I was 19, 41 years ago, and really learned from scratch the mindset part of me being a real estate agent at 19 and overcoming my own, self-image challenges or opportunities, overcoming my fears of not being good enough and smart enough, overcoming fears of failure. And then really leveling up my skills as an entrepreneur to be able to actually build my own real estate business, initially as an agent, but then as a broker that built a 85 office operation with 1,200 salespeople over the course of 10 years. So I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. I know what it's like to have insecurities and uncertainties and doubts and fears and anxieties and stress as I've built companies, 5 of them now, over the years. And more importantly, what I know is that in today's day and age, how to get your mindset right, your psychology, how to build your business is readily available. And that's the beauty of the era that we're living in. And so now I write, I research I consider myself a behavioral neuroscience researcher. So I read every single day, on the latest, the greatest methods, tools, techniques to first and foremost, keep my mindset right, but also understanding human beings and why we do what we do. But the other side of it is in a world where how to exists for just about everything. Why don't we do the things we know we should be and could be doing? So that's actually an even more fascinating study, because it's really the science of human behavior and performance. So I help entrepreneurs now achieve their goals faster. I keep building my own companies. And so I'm in the game playing as I teach.
So awesome, John. And, so much has changed in the past couple of years. And I know that you help a lot of entrepreneurs, coaches, teachers that some aren't even at 6 figures yet, but you help people get 6 figures, 7 figures, even 8 figures
and
9 figures. Yeah, don't believe me. I wasn't going to sell you out there. Those figures excite me. So in this new climate of, social media, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, news media, and everything happening so fast, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs for, first of all, getting leads? Let's start there.
Sure. Before we get into getting leads, the first bit of advice that I would give every entrepreneur that I do to all my paying customers is, just because there's TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Pinterest and doesn't mean that that's what you need to be doing. So unfortunately, our brain operates, based on this reward system, that it is consistently getting drawn towards the little things that activate it's a place in the brain called the nucleus accumbens, part of the brain that is responsible for the reward center releasing dopamine. So when we, see people, advertising on any of the media, channels that are available, social media, when we see our friends doing well on TikTok, or we see ads or content pieces, we get these bursts of a burst of reward, thinking, well, maybe I should do that. And the real truth is, maybe you shouldn't. The real truth is, maybe you should be aware of all those things, but ask yourself this question: based on your personal skills, based on what's easy for you, should you be writing a consistent blog? Should you be doing video? Should you be doing live? Are you comfortable in front of a camera? Do you want to get comfortable in front of a camera? Should you be doing ads for YouTube for your program, product, or service? Or should you, be using Instagram Reels? Now, the reason I say that you have to base your behavior based on your financial and non-financial skills and abilities is because most business owners, especially small business owners, are focusing on the many, and there's more than enough, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of dollars when you get really good at just one or two of them. So that means that you and I have to get better at managing our attention units, the things that we're paying attention to, the things that distract us, that give us that quick, easy dopamine hit, which we become addicted to, like sugar. And that now requires a practice, right? And that practice means I have to be aware of my own mental and emotional and behavioral patterns. It means that I have to be aware of where I am using time versus investing my time for a good ROE and ROI, which is return on my energy and return on my investment. Now, this requires discipline and focused thinking so that I'm not focusing on the trivial many things, and I'm focusing on the critical few. And unfortunately, in our society right now, we live in a society that is easily distracted. So there's part one.
You're absolutely right, John. And you share so many bits of wisdom in such a condensed form. So what I encourage the folks to do, whether you're watching live or on replays, watch this multiple times. Don't just watch this once. Replay it, take notes, have a pencil in hand like I do, so you can get the maximum amount of value from these incredible workshops that we're lucky enough to provide to this community as a community service. Now, one thing that is interesting to me, though, John, is what is the difference between, is examining the difference between those individuals that are very successful versus those individuals that there's a saying, everyone has greatness inside. But the second half of the saying that we don't quite hear often is, well, for a lot of people, that's where it stays, right? Sure. We all have greatness inside, but why is it that for most people it stays inside, right? And so what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the psychology, the neuroscience, sure, for those individuals that are maximum high-level performers versus those that, yes, you have greatness, but it's just stuck here. Please.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I want to bring a little prop. Hold on.
Please. Oh, we love props here on this.
Yeah, show, and while he's grabbing the prop, I
got actually 4 or 5 props right over
here.
While he's grabbing the props, guys, this is golden. There are a lot of things we could be doing, but what I hear is you need to look at what is most aligned with you and the most valuable use of your energy, your talents, and your time, and then focusing. And I also heard the word consistent. You used it with consistent blog, but whatever it is, be consistent is another little gem we got there. All right, he's got the props.
So I've got some props. And so we're talking about, potential and achieving success. So let me frame this the right way. And maybe people could respond or, if I can get some feedback. Would you agree that in 2022, and I don't care what area it is, but I'll give you all options. In the area of earning more money as a business owner and growing your business maybe 2 or 3 times, bigger than it is right now with less stress, getting healthier, being happier, having a better relationship. So in the areas of your career, business, finances, happiness, health, would you agree that how to achieve greater results, the how to exists in either a book, through a coach, a consultant, a program, somewhere online, you can get the how to, the blueprint that's step by step. Would you agree that that is true? And if your answer is yes, how is it different than if you make a commitment to solve the 2x2 Rubik's Cube, or the 3x3 Rubik's Cube, or the 4x4 Rubik's Cube, or even the 5x5 Rubik's Cube, or even the monster multi-dimensional Rubik's Cube? If you were committed to solving this, you could find somebody who will teach you exactly what the algorithm is, the step-by-step process. You can actually find it on YouTube, just so you know. So the question then becomes, if the solution, and let's say this is your $50,000 a year business, this is maybe your $150,000 a year business, this is your $250,000 a year business, this is your $1 million a year business, and this is like your $1 billion business. If you were committed to growing your business to that level, is it not true that you can find some tool, technique, blueprint, book, video, coach, or mentor that can help guide you step by step? And the answer is, well, yeah, that makes sense. There's people who know how to do that. So that means that the only thing stopping you from actually building that business right, is your commitment to learning the process. Your commitment to learning the process. So what is preventing you from making a commitment to yourself to learning the process? And the answer is another prop. Something's going on in your brain, right? Something is going on in here that's preventing you from making that commitment. And I'm going to suggest that it's one of a few things based on neuroscience, right? So it could be that you're afraid. Maybe there's a fear of failure. Maybe there's a fear of making the commitment and disappointing yourself. What if you don't do it? What if you disappoint your husband or wife or children or employees? What if you succeed and fail? What if you're embarrassed because you fail? What if you're judged? What if you're ridiculed? Well, we know that our brain causes us to move away from the things that might cause us pain or discomfort. And since our brain is predicting a possible outcome in the future based on our experiences from the past, then when we have the potential of any pain or discomfort, we're like, nah, I don't want to do that. Let me keep doing what I'm doing. Let's say we don't have the knowledge and skills of how to do that. And we're focusing on, I don't have the knowledge and skills to build my 50 or 100 or $200,000 business. If we don't have the knowledge and skills, then we know from a neuroscience perspective that we've activated the uncertainty and doubt stress circuit in the brain. When the uncertainty and doubt circuit is activated in the brain, we'll do one of three things. We'll either fight it, we'll freeze, or we'll flee. And in most cases, we'll just move to doing what's comfortable. So the absence of the knowledge and skills can deactivate motivation. And when we deactivate motivation, the behavioral circuit in the brain says, okay, just do what's easy and convenient. And then there's the third thing I always like to talk about is, what if you want to build your $250,000 a year business, but you really don't feel at a hidden level, okay, the parietal cortex, the part of your brain that houses your self-image, if you feel you don't deserve it or you're not worthy of that level of success because of something that may have happened in childhood, or you feel a disconnect between your vision, your goals, and what you truly believe you deserve, you're not going to take action to solve that. Why? Because all three things that I just described, or four things, are subconscious triggers that most people have never learned how to re-script or recalibrate. So when we're dealing in a world where I can lose weight and keep it off if I'm committed, but if fear or disappointment avoidance is holding me back, means I'm going to stay stuck in my current patterns because I'm safe there, I might get really good at mastering disappointment instead of mastering change. And here's the truth. What got you here will not get you there. What you and I and everybody needs to get better at is mastering the science of change. We're masters at gathering information. We're masters of attending, sessions like this. We're masters of buying books. But are we masters of change and applying the right information in the right order at the right time? No, we're masters of trying, and moving and being busy and saying, yeah, I tried it. Why try when the algorithm and the process is already figured out? Like, why not just do? And now we're getting into psychology. Now we're getting into the science of how our brain works and what keeps us stuck and what keeps us in this repetitive doom cycle that I like to call is habit hell. We just keep repeating the same patterns over and over and over again. We keep trying when the door is open and we refuse to walk out through the door. We keep, hitting the proverbial glass, in a room that a fly keeps hitting, trying to get through the window when the door is open. It's insanity. And so it's time that we level up our awareness and change our behaviors by learning the science of change so that we become masterful at the only constant other than death. Change and death are the only two guarantees that we have from the moment we are born. So there's a little dissertation on the problem and some of the stuff we've got to get done.
You know, I love what you're sharing because there is so much to it. There's what we know. There's that there are always tools to go to the next level. You said we cannot go where I'm paraphrasing, but we can't go where we need to go next by doing what we've already been doing. And so one thing I want to know is often when I'm working with clients or even in my own life, when I'm ready to take on a new skill set, I can get so logical and so on one side of my brain that it's hard to actually move forward and remain unless I do things and I shake myself up, and stay in my heart, in my purpose, and my meaning. And we see this happen a lot. People become doctors, they go in to serve, and then they're seeing clients for 7 minutes at a time. They're burnt out and they're not feeling as connected to the actual work they signed up for. So when you're going to a new level and you're stretching yourself, what tips do you have for staying centered in purpose and mission and meaning?
Well, first we need to know what our purpose is, and we need to know why are we doing what we're doing. Why is it that we're trading our lives? We're offering our programs, products, services to others, and so then the practice is getting connected with that every single day. Right. So when I ask a lot of entrepreneurs, like, how much time do you invest, not spend, invest, connecting with your vision, your goals, your purpose, your mission on a daily basis? Part one. Part two, why must you do this? Like, why must you? Not why should you, why could you, why do you want to? Why must you do this? And the reason for that question is we all have doubts, fears, anxiety, stress, uncertainty, stories, reasons, excuses, habits that want to keep us stuck in our current, paradigm and results. So when our why is bigger than those things, we take action. When these things over here are bigger than our why, these things hold us back. These become the obstacles. So the question is, do we all have obstacles? Of course we do. But not everybody has tools to overcome the obstacles. So one of the things that's really critical is every day in a world of 6,200 thoughts per day I have in my head, and so does the average human being. That's the newest research, 6,200 of my own thoughts. Then I've got the social media stuff trying to grab my attention. Then I've got TV and radio and my wife and my kids and my employees. Oh my God, everybody's vying for my attention, which means that in many cases, my attention can be scattered like sunlight. And I need, hold on, I like props, and I need to focus my attention on the outcome. Right? General sunlight will give you a nice tan. A magnifying glass will burn a sheet of paper if you get the right angle on it. And then a laser will cut through steel. It's the same light energy, just focus. So when we talk about creating some focused time to get connected with my vision, my goals, my why, my mission, my purpose, why not start every day with that practice? And then ask yourself, and this is for, if it's for business, for example, it's what are my highest income producing activities today? What are my highest impact producing activities today? And you can use this process for any area of your life. You can say, what are my highest impact producing activities today for my health, my relationship, my career, my business? And so now we go from the many possibilities to the few things. Oh, wow. And when I can get focused, right, on the critical few versus the many, now I have greater impact in a much shorter period of time. Now, everything I've just suggested sounds great, but very few people have the practice, the rituals, and the habits of making that part of their daily being. So they like the idea of it. It sounds great. It's logical. It makes a lot of sense, but the habit doesn't exist. So let's shift over to what we know about habits. Every day on my mobile phone, I have several of my private clients who text me certain behaviors that we are putting in place every single day for 100 days. Now we start off, and I'll give you an example. My wife and I, 39 or so days ago, started, a 100-day, 1 minute a day plank challenge, just her and I. And every day, all we're doing is a 1 minute plank. Well, we're on day, I think, like 39 today. And either she nudges me or I nudge her. And we're developing this habit of doing a 1 minute plank every day. Now, why only a minute, John? You look like you're in good shape. Why only a minute, Maria? You look like you're in good shape. Now, pay close attention. When you are developing a habit, reduce it to the ridiculously smallest pattern that'll have some impact. Why? Because initially, the habit is more important than the intensity, complexity, or duration. Let me repeat. Initially, the habit is more important than the intensity, complexity, or duration. So first we built the habit, then the habit will build us. So make a commitment to using how the brain works in your favor instead of saying, okay, let's do planks. Let's do 3 minutes today and 3 minutes tomorrow and 5 minutes the next day. Make it hard to do. No, make it easy to do so it's hard not to do it. Let me repeat. Make it easy to do so it's hard not to do it. And amateurs will practice things until they get it right once or twice. But pros practice things until they can't get it wrong. So when you're committed to learning a process, you can solve whatever challenge you have or whatever opportunity you want. And so when we're dealing with the science of, being a high performance individual, first you make the commitment, then you figure out what's the process, and then you can make a plan to be able to implement the process consistently until you master the process a little bit at a time.
I love that. And so before I comment on it, Tanique, I see you're in our audience. You were one of the golden ticket winners. So I want you to check your email because you have a private link to join our stream at the end where our golden ticket winners get to ask John a question. So that's in about 15 minutes or so. So please check your email. And thank you for sharing. John, so powerful. It's funny. I've seen you all doing your planks here and there. You posted, and I love that. And I want to say a couple things about it. Those of you that have a business and are on social media, if you haven't checked out John's page, do, because you'll see that, yes, he puts out professional content, but you also get an authentic look into his life, which I think our whole world is craving to see. Who are you behind the scenes? Who are you in your quiet moments? Not just the perfect lighting and great background. So the other thing is, John, I've had a story that I'm not flexible, that I've never had time for it. And so I have a new affirmation for 2022 that I'm the bendy friend, like I'm your flexible friend. And I'm literally doing 5 minutes a day of deep stretching and then 3 days a week where it's a little bit bigger because of, and you just validated to me, the science shows little bits over time go further than intense sessions. But you just validated the gift to our minds and to our ability to create the habit by what you said, with making something small enough that you can actually do it. That is so powerful in our lives and business. I can see you want to say something, please.
Well, no, I mean, as you and I are chatting, and I appreciate the comments that that are coming up, is again, if I want everybody just pay attention, right? We all have not a plastic brain, but we have this organism called our brain. It is the most advanced, complex organism in the known universe that we are privileged to know as human beings. We all own one. Right? They all function almost 100% the same, given some room for anomalies, but functionally every brain works the same, kind of like cars, right? Kind of like computers. They all work functionally the same. Now, how much do you know about the mechanics of how your brain works? And most people go, not much. I know I got one, but I don't really functionally know how it works. Well, imagine if you had your dream car in the driveway. You didn't know how to drive. It'd be beautiful in the driveway, but if you didn't know how to drive, you really couldn't enjoy that next level of it. And so one of the things that we're discovering, fortunately, in the last 10, 12 years of neuroscience and neuropsychology research, we're finally getting a greater understanding of the mechanics of this organism that we all have. And one of the things that we're getting is, that our brain wants to conserve energy. It doesn't want to use up energy. We know that when there's a cognitive load, a demand on us to think, the average person would rather die than think. Now, don't confuse thoughts with thinking. Thinking requires energy. The brain uses 25% of all of your caloric intake, even though it only is 3% of your body weight for some people, maybe 1.5% for others like me, just because I'm 6'1" and 200 pounds. So when we understand that my brain wants to conserve energy, it'll do more to avoid pain than a will to gain pleasure. Yet me achieving my goals is pleasurable, but it requires me changing. My brain doesn't want to change and wants to predict, what might happen in the future if I put all this energy in there and I don't succeed. Oh my God, that's a lot to think about, right? It may be a lot to think about, but the alternative, stay stuck. The alternative is more of what you got, more of your same health or worse, more of your business, how it is versus growth, more of your relationship, how it is, worse or better. And so if you're okay with what is, there's no need to change. But if you want to achieve more, whether it's more peace of mind, whether it's more awareness, whether it's more financial success, whether it's helping more people, then something has to change. And if something has to change, then you could and maybe should learn about the ways to change that is effortless and stressless. I didn't say effortless or stressless. I said effortless and stressless, right? And it doesn't mean that there isn't effort, but when you understand where to put your effort and where to create that tension, stress is when demand exceeds capacity. Let me repeat, stress happens when demand exceeds capacity, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial capacity. When stress happens, your capacity currently is being challenged. That's what triggers the stress circuits. Now, what causes one person's stress doesn't necessarily cause another person's stress. It's individual, right? So when we have these tension moments, these resistance moments, these stress moments where we feel like, oh, a little anxious, or that means that there's opportunity for growth there. But if you don't understand the growth process, then you keep getting stressed. You keep hitting against your current, right, zones of comfort. And if your success that you want to achieve is outside of your current comfort zone, you learning how to get through those is going to be a critical skill.
This is so powerful. And you see people, Ashley saying she's getting so many breakthroughs, and lots of people are getting ahas. And I know in the replay, you will as well. Evelyn, we're going to bring you on to ask your questions in a bit, so hold them there. John, you have a dedication to people and humanity, and specifically, you've dedicated a lot of your helping to entrepreneurs. And I know that's because entrepreneurs provide jobs, economy. We're leading the field in helping this economy and transformation, evolution continue to happen. So you have a breakthrough challenge coming up that I'm going to be a part of. I'm so excited. I can't wait to learn from you some more. So what is the 5-day breakthrough challenge?
Sure. So when I got into business, literally 41 years ago, I had mentors teach me, do this, don't do that. Here's why, here's how, here are tools and resources. And I've been fortunate that I've had 3 sets of mentors that really took me under their wing and showed me how to master my mindset, how to master my skill set, and how to master my habits and the actions required to succeed in business. And so I've built, Remax of Indiana, I built to $4.5 billion a year in sales. Bamboo.com, I got a chance to raise $28 million for that company from startup, from an idea to doing an IPO on NASDAQ and doing a merger of equals with another company. And our market valuation was $2 billion. I started the Life Success Institute with Bob Proctor in 1995. And many people know he passed on. That was doing millions of dollars. I started One Coach. It was doing millions of dollars a year in business. And then it went bankrupt. The company did. So I learned a lot from that. Then I started NeuroGym and applied the same principles. And people keep asking me, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? And so I started doing this business breakthrough challenge. And there's one coming up on February the 17th. It's 5 days long. Each day I take a different aspect of what a business owner must do, how to think, what to do to generate more leads, to convert those leads into paying customers and revenue and sales and profits, and to really grow their business in a logical way that makes sense. And instead of charging thousands of dollars for the 5-day business breakthrough challenge, I charge $47. And every day we're going to be on for at least an hour if you buy the general admission. There's also a VIP option where we'll be on Zoom for an additional 2 hours a day. And I'm going to give people nuggets, tools, resources, documents, worksheets. I'm going to challenge you to get better and better and better in 5 days, not 50 days, 5 days. And there's going to be some bonuses and some bonus things that we do. And I'm going to just share and give you what I've learned about building a company. And so what are the latest in marketing and sales techniques you can use now to generate an extra 5 or 10 leads and a day, maybe an extra 2, 3, 4 sales a week or 30. We have people that have been on the challenge that have made $25,000 to $50,000 during the 5 days just by applying what I teach them. And then over the next 30 days, 60 to 90 days, we have people who have made $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 more. So the challenge starts February the 17th at 9 a.m. Pacific. And there's a VIP option for $47. There's a general admission option for $47, which includes the workbooks, the manuals, the resources that I will be giving you. and my time. And then there's the $144 option for people who want the VIP, where they'll be watching on Zoom, that will be answering questions for 2 hours after the general sessions. And I think, Adora, that the team has given you a link for anybody who wants to join. You're mute, just so you know.
Thanks. I have a new puppy here, so I have to be mindful. He makes some noises in the background. Yeah, I'm so excited, not only about the challenge and learning from your perspective, but I remember I was reading all these books for a long time, and I saw one of my friends go from, being my guy friend who was a creative entrepreneur to just massively blew up in the dating and relationship space. And I asked him, what did you do? And he said, when I started investing in actual live things that I could attend and meet people and ask my questions, and I started investing in coaching, my whole world changed. And so I did that. And I felt the same thing. I went from, a couple $100 a session to $1,000 an hour to sold out group programs and in so many other ways. So I know the level of success that you've had and you've manifested. And I know how many people you've helped. So I'm very excited about making sure I'm with you here and about the people that I'll be connected to through doing this. And I just want to know, so the main thing they need to do to sign up is to go to the link that we've posted in the comments, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would do it, and you're welcome, Louis. I can't wait to see you there. So we're going to be bringing up our golden ticket winners in a few moments to ask questions, but I was going to ask Mo and you for final thoughts before we do that.
Well, thank you, Dora. Every time we have John on, it's like the time just goes like this. When we had him speak at our last event, which was, of course, with Dennis Waitley, that was the fastest hour of the whole program. And I think it's because when he speaks, it's so stimulating, right? There's no fluff here. Every single sentence has take-home value, which is what excites me personally. Now, before we bring the folks on, we have a couple people that we pulled from the audience, from the virtual auditorium, that are excited to ask a couple questions. Want to remind them to keep it as short as possible, 30 seconds or less. Please come on and ask your question, and John will answer. Before we do that, I just want to point out, if you go to myneurogym.com/richlife, that's where you can sign up for this incredible program that John is offering for less than $50. Okay. And these days, I don't know when the last time, I don't fill my car with gas, but a lot of my friends do. And I think that's about 1/7 of your gas tank these days.
That's so true.
So I think it's a good investment to make. I'll go out on a limb and say you're going to get a lot more value than what you get. And I'm getting my ticket right as soon as I get back in the back end here. And I'm excited about it. So myneurogym.com/richlife. And with that, I'm going to give the floor to you, John, to share, like Adora said, just your final thoughts for a few minutes before we pull in a couple folks from the virtual auditorium who have some questions for you. Please, John.
Sure. I'm going to go back to my Rubik's Cube analogy. And many people know and have tried to solve the Rubik's Cube. And this literally, just this 3x3x3 has over 1 million possible moves that you can make. And most people do not solve the Rubik's Cube, not because it's not solvable, they just don't know what they're doing. Now, if there was a Rubik's Cube expert next to you and they said, move it left, move it right, turn the bottom one this way, then turn it that way, turn the left side this way, that way, it would take you less than 2 minutes to solve the Rubik's Cube if you learn from somebody who already did it. Well, the same is true with growing your business. There are 4 parts, to business as it relates to revenue. And the first part is you need to know how to generate leads and where. You need to know how to qualify those leads into people that you actually invest time with, versus a lot of the people are just looking and may not be able to afford what you have or want. Then you need to be able to convert those people into paying customers so that they can buy from you and refer to you and buy more from you later. And then you need to learn, like, what do I do with all the people that maybe don't buy now? And that means I need to be able to create a system to nurture them so that maybe in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, they do buy. Most business owners, okay, at the basic scale that I just talked about, the basic scale, they don't know how to do what I just said: generate leads, qualify, convert, and nurture predictably. They do it sporadically. They do it haphazardly. They do it based on, a little bit of effort here, hope and luck and prayer, but not predictably. So if you like predictability, I'll show you what we're doing right now in our companies. I'll show you what the hundreds of business owners that we're coaching right now are doing. And between myself and the businesses that I help right now, we're generating over 50,000 leads a month between social and paid media. So I'll expose to you, if you want, the algorithms for what's working right now in today's economy, like today, yesterday, the day before. So if you want to figure it out on your own, okay. But if you want a shortcut, if you want to become a better CEO now, that'll generate more revenue and profits, then join me for the Business Breakthrough Challenge.
John, I see so many incredible leaders in this audience. We have a Harvard-trained medical physician, Dr. Laura. Yes, I see you. We have global thought leaders like Luis, Barbie, Zahara. Look, folks, Socrates said, if you're not growing, you're dying. And so even though we have incredible professionals here, people that are active in the community, Harvard-trained physicians, etc., coaches, thought leaders, you've got to always go to the gym. In this case, the NeuroGym. Okay. I recently recovered from COVID-19, but before that, I got a case of COVID-20. I gained 20 pounds over the pandemic because I stopped going to the gym for a while. Okay. So you've got to always go to the gym. Okay. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and pull in our two golden ticket winners one at a time. Please keep it 30 seconds or less. We're going to start with Tanique. Tanique, please welcome to the stage. Good to see you. And please go ahead and ask your question to John Assaraf.
Hi, Tanique.
Hi, John. Thank you so much, John, for amazing session that you've given us. Adora and Mo. Thank you so much. My question for you, John, is what encouragement would you give to a new entrepreneur on how to network, as well as what to do when their mindset is stuck in the employee realm?
Sure. So first and foremost, whenever you are networking, most people who go to network go with the mindset of, I wonder what I can get from the networking. And I like you to shift and ask yourself this question: what can I give everyone at this networking event to build trust and rapport? You don't go to networking events to sell. You go to networking events to give, to connect with people heart to heart, mind to mind, gut to gut. So don't go with the idea that I'm going to network to sell something. No, I'm going to network to meet people and connect with them at the heart level. Part one. Part two, when people ask you, hey, what do you do? Because they will. You better have your, what we call the elevator pitch wired. Not one time you say this and another time you say that, another time. No, think of a New York play. Act one, scene one, never changes. Act one, scene two, doesn't change. Act one, scene three, doesn't change. The actors practice a script so that when somebody says, well, what do you do? They go, well, do you know how many entrepreneurs get stuck and don't really ever achieve their potential? Well, what I do is help them get unstuck and double or triple their income in the shortest time possible. Wow. Was that the first time I said that? No. That's like the millionth time I've said that. And then their question is going to be, well, wow, how do you do that? Well, I have a process that I've developed that integrates psychology plus strategy so that people can take actions predictably every day to produce the results they want. And I guarantee it. Wow, is that a script? Yeah, it's part of a script. Now, Why do I know the script? Because I've practiced the script, because I know the problem and I know what I can do for them. You need to be that good if you're going to go networking, or you're going to waste your time. That's part one. And then your mindset is, you have an employee mindset. You're used to somebody else taking all the risk. You're used to somebody else paying for the leads, the qualifications, the systems, the processes, the other employees, the sales, the marketing, the finance, the legal, the product development, the customer service. So all of a sudden you're going to go, okay, from employee mindset where you do one thing or two things, to all of a sudden you got all the hats now. Oh my God, I need to wear all the hats? No, you need to know what all the hats are. I need to know which role you should be playing in your business. Where are the holes, and how are you going to get those fixed, or how are you going to get those filled? So how do you shift from an employee mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset? First, you need to know what are the different roles and which ones should I be playing? And then how am I going to get the other things done? And then if you really want to help yourself in starting a new business, pick up my New York Times bestselling book called The Answer. It says, Grow Any Business, Achieve Financial Freedom, and Live an Extraordinary Life. Phenomenal $15 investment called The Answer.
So Tanique, join us. Here's the link, and hopefully that answers your question. And it reminds me of something I remind folks, John, and that's, if you're working somewhere, if you're an employee, you can still act like an entrepreneur. You can still think like an entrepreneur. You can take ownership of wherever you're working at. That doesn't mean you walk around with your chest, up like this and start, talking to everyone in a certain way, but you can take responsibility for your situation and circumstances. Thank you so much, Tanique. Hopefully that answered your question. And we're going to bring in our next one of two golden ticket winners. Adora was really inspired by Willy Wonka for this workshop. We gave a couple, but everyone goes home safely here, right?
Everyone goes home safely, but I'm missing the bubble castle. Evelyn was the person who shared the most. So this means, to win a golden ticket, she not only shared this event on her social media, but she invited people that actually registered and attended, and she had the most points. Awesome. And Evelyn was here early. She was here when we were here setting up in Green Room Studio. So she actually got a little opportunity to hang out with us backstage.
And let's go ahead and bring her in, Evelyn. And please let us know what part of the world you're from and what your question is for John, please.
Wow. First of all, thank you very much. I feel so grateful and excited to be here. Thanks, Adora. Thanks, Mo. Really, I have a question for John. I follow you, John, and you talked about stress happens when demand exceeds, capacity. So I wanted to ask you, how do you build confidence? How do you build confidence in people? I have a team, and sometimes I get to face this. So how do you build this confidence? Thank you very much.
Sometimes you get what? You have a team, and how do you build confidence? And then you have, I didn't hear the last part.
Oh, how do you build confidence in people? Sometimes they're procrastinate, or sometimes they feel they are not enough. So how do you build that confidence? I am from Peru. I am from Peru, by the way. Yes.
I've never been to Peru, and it's on my bucket list. So you're talking about, how do you build confidence in other people?
Yes.
Great. That's a great question. So let me ask you a question, and we'll put a frame around this. How does a baby build confidence to walk?
By making mistakes, right?
Oh, by making mistakes and having the guidance of, let's say, their parents or caregivers help them get back up and try again. And say, right. No, don't do this, do that. And so we learn confidence, but we also learn to give things meanings, right? We also learn to give things meanings. We weren't born with any self-image, any self-worth, any fears, or any beliefs, and we weren't born with any skills. We were born with some genetic predispositions, right? So we were born with the desire to move from crawling to walking. We weren't born with motor skills. We developed motor skills where we learned how to eat because somebody showed us by taking the spoon, putting in the food, and then, they showed it, put it in your mouth. And so the little baby, mimics what they're seeing. So we develop confidence by other people showing us what confidence looks like. We develop certainty by practicing and failing and moving forward. We develop more confidence by getting the results that we want, that the practice that we've had shows us the way to achieve the goals that we desire. So first is we make a commitment to creating confidence. Now, let me give you a visual that'll help you. Let's say I gave you a Hollywood script. It's only 5 minutes long, and it's a character that I say to you, if you learn this character, you're going to get $1 million, playing this role for a Hollywood movie producer. What would you do to get good at this character that may be on a sheet of paper that you've never seen before? Would you practice the character? And would you be a clumsy beginner at first? Yes, but you'd move from being consciously incompetent, not good, and you're aware that you're not good at it, and through practice, you get better and better and better and better and better and better and better. So can I practice confidence in here first? Can I see myself by closing my eyes and activating, my visual cortex? Can I see myself gaining confidence? Yes, I can. I can pretend in my mind because visualization is simulation. Simulation activates the same neural patterns, as if I'm doing it, and the same electrical and neurochemical reaction of the simulation. And then if I practiced physically what it is that I'm visualizing and simulating mentally, now I'm integrating, a behavior, a practice with a visual, I call them Innercise. And now if I learn that when I fail, I'm not a failure. My attempt failed. What can I tweak and adjust? We have part of our growth process in our brains. We have, the error detection mechanism of the brain. So I try something, I fail. What did I learn in my attempt? Oh, good. Let me make an adjustment. Let me practice again. Oh, good. What did I learn in that one? And what did I learn now? How do we make that process even shorter? Stop trying to figure it out on your own. Do what already works. We don't need 200,000 more geniuses to figure out how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So learn the process first. Practice the right process. You will learn and develop the neural and emotional patterns faster than ever before. But too many people, are practicing the wrong things and they're mastering getting good at the wrong things. Then it becomes a habit, and then they have to break the habit. So what does confidence look like? How does somebody who's confident think? How does somebody who's confident feel? What's the process that somebody who's confident, what's the behavior? What do they do in the morning? What do they do in the afternoon? What do they do in the evening? Practice that. So that's how you build confidence in other people. Don't let them figure it out on their own when you know the process.
So powerful. So powerful. I see Evelyn smiling back there. And this applies to everything, doesn't it? It's any new identity that you want to take on that feels unfamiliar.
Yeah. Listen, it's 2022. All the how-to that anybody who's watching this right now needs is already figured out. You don't need to be the genius that figures it out. Be the genius that's great at applying what already works.
That's so brilliant. And, it's a simple truth, but for some reason, it's difficult for a lot of folks to grasp. And I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, we live in an age where you literally, no hyperbole, you have Harvard lectures on YouTube. But if you go and you watch these lectures, they have like 85 views, right? So we have all these incredible resources that we can all tap into, but so few people are actually doing it. So I appreciate you reminding the people of this community, it's not about the how-to, right? You ask a person, well, what's your goal? What's your dream? Well, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but I don't know how. That is not an excuse anymore. The information is all available. It's all about taking action. So I appreciate that powerful reminder. And folks, join us, myneurogym.com/richlife. I'm buying my ticket in just a couple minutes here. I'm going to be there. I hope you guys join me. I'm excited for it. In my opinion, it's going to probably be the best 40-something dollars I've spent in a long time. Lord knows, you know, I just spent about $20-$30 on McDonald's DoorDash before this. So I save a couple of those and I'll get myself a ticket and this incredible time with this powerful community. So if you're watching this, I'm excited to see you guys, Barbie, Luis, everyone in the virtual auditorium. Join us, myneurogym.com/richlife. I'm excited. Adora, how excited are you to join this incredible event that we got going on with John, that John has, that we're going to be attending, please?
Yeah, I'm so excited. And this point that we all share in common is that we're on a path of growth, of elevation, and applying the information that is available is powerful. And I love what you share again. You shared that during these 5 days, you've had people actually earning and scaling. Can you share some of those stories again? Because those are people that took action. So some of you are going to join. Some of you aren't even taking the action of joining, and that's okay. No judgment. But if this calls to you, that may be your first big step to get the new character in motion. That's not just, binging on data, right? But then the next step is get in there and actually apply it. And what's possible if they show up, if we show up and apply what you're going to be sharing.
Sure. One of the people who had signed up for our last program, his name is Brett. I don't know his last name. He's from a town somewhere in Australia. I know it's somewhere near Cairns, Australia. And he happens to be a coach. The coach is men on achieving success and being a father, a husband, and an entrepreneur. And part of what we'll be teaching is the neuro sales and the neuro marketing that is really required to activate the certain parts of the human brain that'll cause people to pay attention to you versus, the hundreds of other blogs, videos, posts that people make and ads. And but also, how do you lead somebody through a process that makes sense to the human brain? And within very, very short order, 5 days, he took the process that we showed on the Business Breakthrough Challenge, and he had 2 people that he talked to sign up for his $10,000 coaching each. And he said, John, it was so easy. I realized I was making so many mistakes in how I was explaining what I was explaining that I do for people. And so he was able to utilize the psychological triggers that causes people to pay attention, and then a process by which the brain likes to make decisions by following this process. And I would tell you that 97% of business owners, especially small business owners, don't know the right process and how to trigger the parts of the brain that people need to be able to easily follow you and make decisions to work with you instead of the competition. So that's one example. And again, I remember there's a woman who was working actually in corporate America. She didn't even have her own business, and she used one of the processes, to close a $50,000 sale for her company. And she was like, "Oh my God, it was effortless." Whereas before she was having a hard time getting people to buy the company's stuff. So you're going to learn not only how to master your own mindset, but really how to tap into the psychological triggers and process that'll cause somebody to follow you and stay in the process methodically and in an effortless way. And then everything that I like to teach is about selling, which means helping people, but not being salesy. Because everybody wants to buy, but nobody wants to be sold. So how do you present your program, your product, your service in a way that people go, please tell me more? Here's something to understand about human behavior, and especially marketing and sales. Marketing should cause, and sales should cause your prospect to move towards you because you've engaged them in a way that is like, tell me more. But you know what most marketing does? It causes people to do this. It causes people to do this, to move away from you, and then they go look somewhere else. And so when you understand the psychology plus the strategy plus the systems required, in order to automate as much of your business as possible, you can create predictable results. Now, I know that there are possible results in your business, but wouldn't you prefer to have predictable results? That you know how much money you're going to make this week and how many people you can help and how much money you can make next week and the week after because you have predictability. Most businesses have possibilities. I like to create predictability.
It's so powerful. And I know we have a lot of people here that are looking to go to 7, 8, 9 figures. Some that are like thinking of 6 figures seems mind blowing, right? But I just want to talk about that predictability piece and mental emotional health and well-being. That predictability piece is your ability to focus on your calling and your contribution in society while being able and having the emotional space and capacity to take care of your children, to go on those adventures, to meditate. Predictability is so huge. Sure. And the lack, sometimes people, when they hear, oh, the breakthrough is going to be money, some people have old stories that bring up, fear or a feeling of like slimy salesman. But the whole point is when you create consistency, predictability, you can work with people that actually need and want and are crying at night because they need your solution. Maybe they're not crying. They just are looking for red velvet cake and you know how to deliver it. But when we allow ourselves that financial abundance, can you talk about, why that is important and possible?
Well, and Adora, I just need to let you know, I've got about a 2-minute hard stop. When we're looking at, 7.5 billion inhabitants, right, on planet Earth, and let me assume that whether the company that you work for has great products, services, programs, or you as an entrepreneur have a great program, product, or service, or you want to be an entrepreneur, there's so many people that need entrepreneurs and businesses that have integrity and really care about people, and our programs, our products, our services, they're a way for us to share something with somebody, and in exchange for them, to us, they give us money. Money's a means of exchange, and there's more than enough money. So our job as entrepreneurs is to find the people, right, using a variety of different methods, whether it's social media, paid or organic, whether it's television, radio, direct mail, networking events. Our job is to find the right people who want and need what we have, and they're willing to exchange, fair exchange. We're going to give you this, you're going to give us money so that we can keep our business open, help more people, and make a profit. There's nothing wrong with that. We go to doctors, we pay them for diagnostic and solutions. We go to the bakery to buy bread and maybe milk. We go to the clothing store to buy clothes. We go to the car dealerships to buy cars. We go to the gas station to put gas in the tank. So there's this consistent means of give and take and exchange going on. Money is just a byproduct of services rendered. So if you can serve more people, then you can help more people. If you can help more people want to give you the money that they work for here in exchange for what you do. Now, the challenge is most entrepreneurs are really good at, one or two pieces of, of what it is that they do. And most of them are not really good at marketing and selling, getting their program, product, service in front of the right people and showing these right people how to make the best decision for them. They're just not good at that, either because it's a skill set issue or it's a mindset issue, right? Like when I think of selling, like I'm selling today, right? I'm selling people on, there's a process. There is a way for you to achieve your goals. I know what it is. I'm willing to share it with you if you want it. There'll be like, I'll give you 10 times more than I'm asking you for, right? And so I don't have any shortage of people to work with. Now, am I being salesy? No, I don't think so. Am I asking you to buy something for you that'll help you? Of course. That I feel obligated to share what I know if it can help you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just spent the last hour with New York Times bestselling author John Assaraf. Again, our community outreach division is always working to bring some of the biggest thought leaders from around the world as a community service, not only for the folks of Los Angeles, but globally through our international platform. I want to thank John, and you're absolutely right, John. There's more than enough money for everyone. And if we ever run out of money, don't worry. I promise you, the Fed will just keep printing and printing and printing more. You have nothing to worry about. The circulation will never. Or yeah, absolutely. All right, a new coin, right? We're gonna come up with the NeuroGym coin. Absolutely right. So, John, we want to thank you for your time. We appreciate you. I want to encourage everybody to join us. I'm gonna be in attendance. myneurogym.com/richlife. And John, until next time, we certainly appreciate you.
Thank you, Adora. Thank you, Mo. And thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope to see all of you on the Business Breakthrough Challenge on the February the 5th, the 17th. We're starting.
Incredible.
Awesome.
We'll
Thanks,
see you
everyone.
Bye, John. And everyone here, whether you join the Breakthrough Challenge or not, we're going to be sending out a free gift to those of you who registered for this. So look out in your email for that. And you all are just such an incredible community. Doesn't it feel great to be surrounded by amazing thought leaders, Mo?
Absolutely. No, it certainly does. And I think that's something that folks in this community should be so grateful for, because it's a privilege. It's rare. You know, most people go through life lucky to have one individual that they consider a friend, that they can count on, that can help guide them, that can help nourish them, that can help point them in the right direction. Folks that pay attention to the work that you do, that John Assaraf does, that the Los Angeles Tribune does with its community outreach division, they're surrounded by thought leaders, by incredible folks that are actively making a difference. And so, we'll see many of the folks part of this community on the 17th with John. And with that being said, Adora, as always, a pleasure to do these incredible workshops with you. Until next time, folks, remember to stay active. And in the words of both John Assaraf and Yoda, there is no try, only do. Until next time.
Awesome. Bye, guys.